Until the early 20th century, the High Priestess was called La Papessa in Italian and La Papesse in French. She was the female pope. If this was not heretical enough, one must note that by being the second card, she ranks higher than the Pope himself. We must remember that the first tarot decks arrived on the scene without titles, numbers, or a guidebook. Thus, there are many theories about all the cards' origins, and especially the papesse. All these ideas might have been used at one point during the life of this card. One of her earliest representations, and perhaps the first tarot deck created, was commissioned by Bianca Maria Visconti in the mid-1400s. In this card, she wears the clothing of the Guillermites. This cult believed that Guillermo, a middle-aged mother and healer who lived a simple and saintly life, was the embodiment of a feminine, Christ-like Holy Spirit. Bianca Maria's great-grandmother, Maifreda Visconti, was elected to be their pope. The Vatican would have none of that and had her burned at the stake. In the 15th century, Bianca Maria Visconti was politically secure and became the Duchess of Milan. This power most likely made her less fearful vis-a-vis the church. Between 1440 and 1460, she frequently visited and made charitable donations to the abbess of the Guillermites, Maddalena Albrisi. She also commissioned a painting depicting Saint Guillermo, which still hangs in the church of San Andre in Brunat. But the papesse could have also represented the Pope Joan. This possibly mythical woman was the Pope until her gender was revealed, when she suddenly gave birth during a papal procession, and she was killed promptly afterwards. It could have represented Mary or Isis. Statues of both these goddesses were popular during the Renaissance, making them good candidates. In some decks, she represented the Christian virtue of faith, and thus the church herself. The 19th century occultist Eliphas Levi saw her as many things: the house of God and of man, the sanctuary, the law, the gnosis, which is wisdom, the Kabbalah, the occult church, the binary, the woman, the mother. But it also could have been representing the letter Bet, who represents polarity, the reflection of the one, life, and death. The idea of the 22 Hebrew letters representing the 22 major arcana became a popular idea in the late 18th century with the occultists Attila and Antoine Coeur de Guesblanc. Like Guesblanc, the 19th century occultists Levi, Papus, and Worth associated Bet with the High Priestess. I agree with this. The High Priestess is the number 2, and Bet also represents, in Gematria, the number 2. She is the first polarized letter representing life and death. The mother letter Aleph, who represents the magician, and Bet are the alpha and omega of the tree, which is made up of the alphabet of 22 letters. The letter Bet means house in various Semitic languages, including Hebrew. By housing the infinite energy, she limits it and creates the life-death polarity. As the Fool, the protagonist of the tarot story, we embody the High Priestess in our moments of grace, deep reflection, prayer, or dreaming. She is the first arc of wisdom, the true reflection of the One, the Platonic nous or universal consciousness. Her throne is made up of thought, which is made up of the 22 letters. If you want to learn more about the tarot, click on the link in the notes to find my book, The Tree and the Tarot, as well as the Dreams and Divinities Tarot.